The views expressed on Talk Real Solutions, hosted by Tyrone Thompson at talkrealsolutions.com, are the views of Tyrone Thompson and do not reflect the views of talkrealsolutions.com, YouTube, or etc. The content here belongs to Talk Real Solutions and its many contributors. Views and opinions expressed by all contributors belong to them and not talkrealsolutions.com or Tyrone Thompson, the host, or etc. All data and information provided on the site is for informational purposes only. Talk Real Solutions makes no representations as to accuracy, completeness, correctness, suitability, or validity of any information on this site and will not be liable for any errors, omissions, or delays in this information or any losses, injuries, or damages arising from its display or use. All information is provided on an as-is basis.
All right, all right. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. This is Talk Real Solutions. And I am your host tonight, Tyrone Thompson. I want to thank you for tuning in. Today is December the 4th, 2025. And I want to see if I'm screwing up on my audio this week. If. Test. I still hear a little echo. I don't know what the fuck that is. Let me try something. Hey, what's up, MJ? Let me see if I mute this to see if I can still hear the audio. Maybe if I turn it down. I don't know what the hell I'm doing. But welcome to the show. Today is December the 4th, 2025. And I'm going to check one more thing. I seen a YouTube video. That's the default. Everything is that default, so I don't know. Yeah, today is December the 4th, 2025. And if you want to join the show, dial into the number at 1-717-908-1834, and I'll get you on the mic, and you can say whatever you want to say. And I hope y'all had a good time over your holiday season. We got another holiday coming up here where they say it's celebrating the fake ass baby Jesus. I meant to say Christmas. So you take the time to enjoy your family and friends around these times here. And for some reason, I got a frog in my throat. I don't know what's going on with that. But the show must go on, right? The show must go on. You know, I've been doing this shit for a long motherfucking time. I've been doing this shit forever. Sitting out here Thursday night running my mouth about not a damn thing in this world. But it's all good, though. It's all good. But I can tell you now that since I've been, interested in politics here in the recent past, I really haven't. Because there's so much shit going on, you don't have to look for shit. It just shows up and people talking about it all over the damn place. Because these people are violating the law. They're violating people's rights. And shit just going on all the time. So you can just get headlines on what's going on. And that's basically what I'm doing. But what I've really been doing is I started looking at anime. I don't know. I started looking at anime. And I seen what is the name of this little kid? What is his name? Naruto. Yeah, I've been looking at Naruto. I don't know if y'all know who Naruto is. I've been looking at Naruto. And then I've been playing I've never been a video game player. And because these people are so fucking stupid, it's not interesting no more. I started playing Red Dead Redemption. I mean, this is what I've been doing with my time. And, getting into this Red Dead Redemption thing. It's like an open world gameplay. You go around. It's set in the Western. Like I guess the Westerns was around the 1800s or whatever. But you just go through there and you collect shit. You ride horses. You kill people. You just do Western shit, and it's pretty fun. But I'm just now getting started, so I don't know how to use the controls or nothing like that. So I'm just going along with the storyline and just playing the game, seeing what all of this video game frenzy is about. Everybody loves fucking video games, and I really ain't never played them, but I get the appeal. It gives you something to do, and you sitting there and you're engaged for a long time behind these storylines as you walk around and do things and venture out and into this other world and just do things while you're there. So I get the attraction. So I don't know how long I'm gonna be playing Red Dead Redemption, but that's the first video game that I actually played. I touched on a little bit of video games with my daughter when she was playing Apex. I think this is called Apex Legends. Now that one is a video game that's a little too fast for my pace. But that was years ago when you run around and you just shooting people all the damn time. You just jumping and shooting and jumping and shooting. I can't do all that shit. There's too much action going on there for me. I might have a seizure or something with all them lights flashing and shit moving. So I chose something a little slow, like Red Dead Redemption. You get a horse. You get a couple of things that you can ride around with, and you start riding around and you're venturing through these old western towns and you going through shit, you looting shit, you shooting people. And that's a little bit more my speed, so I think I can stick with that. And then, like I said, I never watched anime before, but I watched Naruto, and that's pretty good. So, that's what I'm doing with my time. I'm not really into like all of these, because the reason I'm saying it like that is because if you get drawn down into this shit, right? For one, it's depressing, and then it sends you into a mindset of hopelessness. If you constantly watching these racist ass pieces of shit rip down American democracy, break the law, protect pedophiles and child rapists, steal the money, my taxpayer money, fund outlandish shit like riding around in the FBI plane, taking your girlfriend on dates, Donald Trump wasting taxpayer money playing golf all the goddamn time, Donald Trump wasting our taxpayer money even though he said he got donors, ripping up the damn White House, these thieves just looting and robbing literally American democracy. That shit could be depressing. You watching RFK, Robert Kennedy, and the Trump administration basically put in methods to kill American people when it comes to health care and taking care of our children and vaccines and stuff. These people wanting people to die. They want to kill people. And the reason it's depressing is because it's so big of a threat that you can't do shit about it. There's nothing you can do. You see it, you know it's wrong, but there's not a damn thing that you can do about it. Next thing you know, you're going to be watching people die. Just like the warning that people like me and others was putting out when it came to the COVID response for Donald Trump. And once again, just ignore my throat and my voice. I got a hoarse voice. I'm drinking some throat tea. Just like when you seen those people when it came around coronavirus and COVID-19, and Donald Trump's response initially saying that it's going to go away, telling you to stick fucking UV lights up your ass and drink bleach, and just dismissing the fact that there was a global pandemic. You knew that the people was going to die. We repeatedly put up the stats of the people dying on the screen every night in the millions, day after day after day after day, with that previous administration in charge. They don't care about dying. They don't care about people dying. We've seen the medical care providers asking for assistance like respirators and PPE, the protection equipment to save people's lives. And these people constantly ignored it. And people died, and people died, and people died. We've seen them try to administrate what we know works for human beings in medicine and come to vaccines. And that got so demonized that people were scared to take vaccine. They was questioning medicine. We even got one idiot in. I'm gonna remind this of you of this every time I think about this shit. We got one idiot here that actually followed the directions of non-medical personnel and actually took horse medicine, the ivermectin, that stupid ass ABC, because he was so ill-informed at the time about that situation. And we went through this long period of time of death and carnage and people dying in the thousands a day. And these people are so fucking brainwashed and cult-minded that they literally watching their fellow Americans die. So that was that time, and now we're here. After all of that carnage, after all of that lying in the previous, Donald Trump's previous administration, America put this same stupid ass motherfucker right back up in the White House, and here we go again. Here we go again. Initially, he got in the White House and he started talking about going to war with Mexico and Canada, trying to invade Greenland. He put tariffs on Mexico and Canada, talking about tariffs is going to make American people money. And at the time, everybody was telling you that that ain't the way that worked. You know, I'm not a civics person or economic person, but we know just from basic information that whenever you put a tax on something in the form of a tariff, the end user, which is the customer, is going to pay a higher price. That's just common sense. But no, they didn't want to hear that. But here we are now. You go look at the price of groceries, the eggs. Steaks has never been so fucking high. I've never seen steaks this high. You look at the price of gas and what it takes to heat your home nowadays. You look at the price of rent. You look at the mortgages, the home costs. Let me tell you something. Let me change the host logins. What the hell is how? No, this ABC. I've seen YouTube doctors. You better. What you mean change the host login? Call in, nigga. Is that you on the line? Say something. Okay, so if you want to tell me what you're talking about, then just let me know. Somebody messing with the board. Yeah, I just had a conversation with somebody the other night, and they said the same thing. So that's what I'm going to wind up doing. Look, guys. So since ABC brought that up, before I continue, if I change the host login, right, what y'all going to have to do is y'all going to have to come to the YouTube channel and get the new number and get the new access code, because clearly there's somebody messing with the board. I had a conversation with Sister Nobody the other night, and she said that somebody was on the board that wasn't supposed to be there, and now ABC is saying the same thing, and you know those two don't get along, so so they don't agree on shit. So I know that something is going on with the board. Is my point. So probably after the night, by next week, I would probably have another Oh, you sent me some messages. I don't even, I ain't got on Facebook in years, man. So, but I'll check the messages. But I'll change the number, and I don't know what the new number is going to be, but y'all went through this a couple of times, so you'll know that the number will be on the screen. It'll be in the description, and it'll be a new access code. It'll be a new number. That way, old folks can't get in there and do what they're supposed to. And I can tell you this right here, that when people left, I didn't change the thing, so I don't know who's got it. Okay, I know for the password, this only 3 people got it. But for the dial in and the host number, yeah, that number stayed the same this whole time. So I'll change it. And I'll let Sister Nobody know I changed it, and we'll get all that straight. Cause don't nobody. I mean, it's just bullshit. See, this is how folks is, man. People are trying to gather on their own time. I got no control over it, and they want to get on there and they want to have conversations during the week and talk about whatever they want to, and there's nothing wrong with that. But then you got these fucking idiots that come over here and fuck with it. That's how niggas is. That's how niggas is. So we'll change it, And I hate white people. I hate white racists. But the entire time that Talk Real Solution been getting attacked, it's been by people who's been over here, which is black people. You see what I'm saying? So it's just bullshit that you can't see something like this. I mean, this shit is small as fuck. You can't get no smaller than Talk Real Solutions. I mean, a bump on the ant's ass is bigger than what Talk Real Solutions is. So why you gonna fuck with it? There ain't nobody over here listening to shit we saying. There ain't nobody over here fucking. We ain't really attacking nobody. There ain't nobody got no kind of power to make a damn difference. So why the fuck would you fuck with it? But that's what you got. Some people that does that. So we gonna have to adjust, and we will adjust. So by next week we'll have a new phone number and a new access code and a new login, and I will give the current host, which would be Nobody and ABC, the password and access. So there you have it. I'll fix that. Now y'all done made me forget what the hell I was talking about. But I know I was talking about Donald Trump. And I know, well, you know what? Since ABC didn't make me change my mind, I'll stay here for a little while. Well, it kind of involved Donald Trump. So listen, with what's going on with Donald Trump and politics and racism in this country, it affects black people. But black people don't understand how it's affecting them, right? So I know it's not affecting you at your job, and it's not affecting everybody when they go home at night. But it is affecting you whenever you go pay for your gas and pay for your food, try to buy your children school clothes. That shit, it don't need to be this way. Trying to pay rent. Black people don't medium income is much lower than the medium income of white America. So we can't afford to go through this economic time period that we're going through. And even still, there's some people that just don't see it. They just don't see it, and they don't understand that in order for them to at least have it a little better, you cannot vote for these white racist Republicans. You just can't. Black America, you don't need to vote for white racist Republicans. You do not. You need to vote for the Democratic Party. That's just saying it as plain as I can say it. Is that there? There's no reason to even debate this because the Republican Party is the party of the KKK. The Republican Party hates black people. That's what it is. When you look at them tearing down the public education, public education in America has produced a lot of successful people in this country, but they wanted to attack public education in part because black people was making it through that system, going on to get higher education and becoming very educated and getting involved in the business world. That's a damn fact. But whenever you insert these charter schools and you have to pay for school, like I said, economically, our medium income can't afford to pay for these goddamn charter schools, so they defund the public school education, miseducate our children, and then they fund the charter schools so white people can get educated, and then you're gonna wind up with a society where black people are acting like ABC, are acting like ABC and sorry, dumb as fuck. That's just a fact. Or Mr. Solutions. Or you hear all these damn black people on YouTube and social media. These are some ignorant motherfuckers. Whenever you want to join a clan called fucking, I don't know, Hebrew Israelites and FBA and all this kind of bullshit and just follow the fucking leader and not think for your goddamn self. I remember ABC used to follow this motherfucker named Young Pharaoh. Black people used to follow Brother Polite. So you wind up with this society of uneducated people that whenever they hear somebody that speaks eloquently and with charisma, ooh, that's my new leader. That's my new leader. And you got to dig a little deeper than that, you know? When you following just Umar Johnson because he know a lot of fucking complicated words with big syllables in it, or Boyce Watkins, this is the education level that America is ending up with, especially in the black community. So I can't undo that, but it's what's happening. The education system is getting attacked. They're getting rid of the Department of Education. They're not trying to have funding for public education anymore unless it comes from the states. That ain't gonna fucking happen. So black people are fucked. Black people are screwed when it comes to education because you can learn a lot from public education with the core classes in basic science, arithmetic, reading, writing. All of that shit does good. It does your body good. ABC failed all that shit. But I paid a little bit of attention, you know, and I can say it really benefited me. But whenever you attack the public education system, you wind up with a whole fucking slew of dumbass motherfuckers sitting on social media doing TikTok dances and trying to come up with the latest trend to be famous in 10 seconds. That's what we got. And you know what? I get it because you do see the ones that are successful. You do see the ones. Okay, so I used to look at basketball and sports in the black community the same way. It's everybody wanted to be a goddamn basketball player. Every night in the streets, they out there shooting hoops. Every day they going to shoot hoops. They going to the gym. They going to play basketball. They can name every fucking goddamn basketball player and all this kind of bullshit. But all of y'all ain't gonna make it. That's just a fact. You may have some skills on the goddamn court, but you're not going to be the one that make it to the pros. You know, I'm just using that in general. You could use football, baseball, whatever sport, right? And in your youth, okay, you can use that for physical health and physical education, learn how to get along with your teammates and all that kind of stuff and know how to work on a team. But at some point in time, you got to realize I got to educate myself so I can learn a skill or, you know, just make it in this world economically, and it stops whenever that skill stops, the education stops, and the drive isn't there. So I'm just rambling, but at some type of way, we need to figure out in this community. One solution is how to teach our community about economics, right? And not no bullshit economics like fucking Boyce Watkins selling these goddamn classes. Real economics that could teach you how to generate residual income and create LLCs and know what tax exemption is and be able to maintain a position and invest in your damn income. There's there, there's so much now that I wish I would have did when I was younger, but there's so much now and so much you can get access to. We need to educate our youth on, so we won't be running around here falling for these goddamn conspiracies, right? And that's what we ended up with. Is we got this I don't know, this environment where the black MAGA or the black coons, they kind of depict the black community of in a way where it's niggas versus black people, and you got this section out there of black people that think that they are American Indian or they're Native Americans. Jesus Christ, we fucked up as a community. I'm just telling you, we just so fucked up. The Native American people, I don't know. I don't know if they scared of DNA tests or what, but you can find out where the hell you're from. That's easy, and that could answer that question for those folks. But I don't think they want to know. I think that they want to just believe in something, believe in something. I think that they just want to believe in something because we've been programmed to believe in stuff, right? And it goes into our religious mindset, right? Our entire community has been has turned our brain into putty. And like those Native American people, all they have to do is a DNA test. Let me show you. This is what I'm gonna do. I know I'm all over the place because I don't have shit to talk about. I told y'all I've been watching anime, so I'm gonna pull up my. Here's my I'm gonna log into my DNA shit, right? Let me see if I can put this up on the screen. Hold on. I think that, yeah, that's it. And I'm gonna say it again. I know it pisses Joshua off every time I say it, but the reason I went and did this thing, right, is because on BTR at the time I was believing somehow or another that I was an Egyptian, because they kept saying black people from Egypt, that's the original black person and all this kind of bullshit. And I was like, well, shit. DNA is on sale for $59. It's normally $99. Why don't I just get me a damn DNA test and we can go from there? But I'm logged into the DNA thing, right? So this is me, my little handsome face. And if I click on this little thing right here, it'll give you your results. And down here, it tells you the regions. Ain't been on here for a while. It's changed. And then if you look at the pie chart here, to tell you, like, it's 19% Mali, 19% Nigeria, 12% Senegal, 10% Benin, Congo, 8% Ivory Coast and Ghana, 7% Cameroon, 6% the Western Bantu. And now here you get into the other stuff. 6% Northern Wales and Northern England. 3% Scotland, Northeast Scotland. 2% Iceland. All right. 2% the Netherlands. And then it goes on and on. I can't get to them little small ones. Let me see if I can click on it. That just showed me Mali. Oh, here we go. This is a... Saint did this shit in a while, so pardon me. It says 5 new regions. What is the 5 new regions? Okay, that's a bigger breakdown. It says the newer regions, because your genetics is always changing. It said Northern Wales and Ireland or England, Northeast Scotland, Scotland again. I don't know where the fuck this is. Ireland, Iceland. These are the newer regions, right? So I'm showing you this, right? Is because the majority of my shit come from Africa, the west coast of Africa. And then you got the white portion of my DNA. So what does that tell you? That the majority of my DNA is African, and then you got white DNA in you. That means that you're a product of the damn slave trade, right? And I think that I had like 1% Native American some damn where. I don't see it. Well, it must be less than 1%. Well, this tells you where the fuck you come from, period. It's your blood, it's your fucking genetics, it's you. You send your fucking slob in a tube, and it tells you where the fuck you came from. This knocks off fucking 90%. No, I'm gonna say 85% of the goddamn confusion. You're not confused no more. Once you look at where your fucking genetics are and where you came from, that gives you a starting place. But you got fucking black people out here so stupid that they want to convince themselves that they are Native Americans and put feathers in their fucking hair and run around here and talk shit on the internet about other black people that accepts the truth about the slave trade. And then for the Hebrews, if they do their goddamn DNA test, it'll tell you right here that your motherfucking ass ain't fucking from Israel. It'll tell you right here. For you goddamn Christians, just look at your goddamn DNA. Look at your fucking ass coming from the west coast of Africa. And then somehow or another you got these 1% and 2% specks of fucking European in your DNA that come from the goddamn slave trade. They abused our ancestors. They raped our ancestors. They named us after them. And I'm just saying this is that if people just took the time and looked at simple shit like this, there would be less confusion in the black community, and you would have less of these groups running around here following people like Tariq Nasheed and Umar Johnson, because they would have their answer. And they would know that those people are full of shit, right? And during the holidays, this thing don't cost a lot to actually. No, look, this is fucking cheap as shit. It's cheaper than when I got it. You can get your fucking DNA done for $29 right now. If you go and sign up for it, that's cheap as shit. And give you a swab or something, and then send it off, and then now you'll know. You don't have to argue with no goddamn body. You know where you come from, what part of your ancestry is blah blah blah. You'll know. And then some people, some black Americans, of course they will have more European. Some black Americans will have more African in it. But it doesn't matter because you know who the fuck you is now, right? And then now you won't be saying that stupid shit like give me a headdress with feathers in it. Or whatever the fuck y'all be saying all the time. Living, don't want to live in a goddamn teepee or whatever the fuck. You know, you won't be saying dumb shit about the Bible like you're the fucking original fucking Hebrews or whatever the hell people are saying with these fucking doctrines and belief systems. You'll know who the fuck you is. Now, because you've been believing that bullshit for so long, it's going to be an adjustment. It's going to take you some time to accept that what you've been hearing your entire life has probably been wrong. But the longer you study yourself, the more you will be willing to accept the truth about your goddamn self. And all of this is a part of waking up. That's why I talked about Christianity so much back in the days, because we're walking around with a fucking society full of zombies right now, believing in bullshit, right? That's why Donald Trump was so, it was so easy for him to get power, because there's a religious mindset that believe that there is a fucking savior out there. Sarge and ABC believe that Donald Trump is here to save them. That is a fucking fact. Listen to the way they talk. Listen to how Donald Trump can't never do no goddamn wrong by them people. By them. But my point is with black people, you're going to have to start waking up sometimes. And I know your children are waking up. I know our youth is waking up. There's a lot of us still in that religious mindset, but there's more and more that I see on social media that is waking the fuck up from this nonsense. And as time goes along, there are going to be more people that wake up from this nonsense. But unfortunately, it's not the time now. I wish I would have seen more, but I am encouraged when I look at a lot of black youth on social media and them explaining that they understand. That they understand that their ancestors got fed some bullshit because of power and to keep them subdued mentally. So there's a lot of people that understand that, and that's right. So I'm encouraged when I see the youth out there waking up. And then like this right here, like I just said, there's my DNA. That's where the fuck I'm from. Some part of goddamn Congo in Africa. Can y'all see all that? I don't think y'all can see all that. Let me squeeze it down a little bit. Yeah, that's good enough. I think that's what it shows anyway. But yeah, go get this shit. It's $29. I think I paid $59, and sometimes it was $100. Maybe I paid $99. I might have paid $99 for this thing. And then not only this, you can take it further. You can take the data from this DNA test, right? And you can send it off to some other companies if you want to learn about your health, what kind of sickness that might run in your family, how drinking might affect you, how certain foods might affect you, all that kind of shit, right? But I ain't never do that. But you can find that shit out by taking your DNA test. You know, it's a good thing. All right, so that's enough of that. Black people need to stop being stupid. They need to stop thinking that they're Native Americans. They just need to do their own DNA test, and you won't have to listen to me, right? Because the point is that whenever I start talking and I run into somebody who believes this thing about Native American, they'll look at me and say, well, you don't know who the fuck you is. We was always here. This is where the fuck we from. This is our land. Okay, you know, that's fine. That could be totally true. It could be totally true, but the people that I believe that from is the ones that show me their fucking DNA test and show me that their DNA test came from fucking America. You show me your DNA test come from. Look at America with my DNA test. The only place that's close to fucking America on my DNA test right now is Central America, Honduras. I don't know how the fuck that's in there, but that's the only place. And then, like I said, the Native American part of my DNA is like less than 1%. Less than 1%. So I don't think it's showing up on this thing here. It's not showing up. So if you are a Native American, then you should be proud of handing over $30 and looking at these results because it's your DNA. It's your DNA sample. It's your slob. It's your blood that you're giving. And medical science is telling you exactly where on this planet your ancestors come from to generate you. And then all of the fucking wishy-washy bullshit about you don't believe our history and we was original Americans and all that shit can go away. Now, if your DNA test says that you was a Native American, I cannot take that away from you. I would say, yes, sir, yes, ma'am, you're right. You were a Native American. And you should, if you're preaching that shit, you should want to prove it to the people that you're preaching it to. Show them evidence of how we were really the original Americans. Show it to them. Instead of running your damn mouth and stop coming to people like me telling me that I was a fucking Native American or I'm the original. Okay. I hear that and it sounds fucking good, but I'm a person that you're going to have to show, right? You got to show me that shit. All right, so that's enough of that. I don't even know how the fuck I got on my DNA. Besides talking about stupid ass black people believing in this bullshit. Oh yeah, over here in Africa, the reason that I did this is that I was told that that we all Egyptians. So I went over here and I looked in Africa. Here go Egypt, right there, and I don't have one speck of fucking DNA coming from Egypt. Now, when I first seen that, it was like a light had came on. And I was like, okay, all this bullshit that these people talking about ancient Egypt and black people was fucking wrong. It was just wrong. Because as you can see, not one speck of my goddamn DNA comes from the east coast of Africa. It's all the west coast. The Congo, the Nigeria. And what's so convenient about this side of Africa, guys? Just think about it. Look at the positioning of Africa where my DNA come from in relationship to America. It's just a slave fucking trip away. It's right across the ocean. So they'll come down here to what's this place called again? I can't even remember. In Central America here where they fucking had the sugarcane plantations. The Bahamas. I can't even think about it. But it's in this area here where they had the sugar plantation, Jamaica, the Dominican Republic, in this area here. But my point is, if you look at the map and you see where my DNA come from and relationships to the Americas, then you can see it's just like a beeline trip from America to this place, right? And then digging a little deeper, just think about it, right? The slave traders, if you look at the European in my DNA, these were the fucking goddamn slave traders. Coming from the UK, coming from Ireland, right? These were the slave traders right here. That's in my DNA. These were the goddamn slave traders. Scotland. So I can easily look at this fucking map and see that I'm in America now, and my DNA goes back to, most of it goes back to Africa, and then I have a small percentages coming from Europe. So if I just fucking think about how it got that goddamn way, and think about history, you know, the slave trade happened on the west coast of Africa, and the slave traders came from fucking Europe at some point, right? Up there in the UK, up there in Scotland and Ireland. So just it makes sense to me that since my last name is fucking Thompson, which I think is a Irish last name, I don't know what Thompson is, but since my last name is Thompson, which is a European name, it makes sense to me that I'm looking at what Thompson is now. Oh, look, it's Scottish and English. So right here. So if you look at the last name Thompson, which is the English and Scottish origin name, and then you can see I got some fucking Scottish and English in my fucking DNA. Somehow or another, them slaves that came off the west coast of Africa was introduced to those fucking slave traders from England and Scotland, and that's how the fuck I got here. That's easy for me to see now. You see what I'm saying? But whenever you're looking at African Americans that don't want to be African or have no trace of African in their DNA, they push as far away from this factual history that I just gave you as they can, when they can simply spend $30 now and find out the truth. Now you can find out the truth and still argue your argument, right? But you're going to have to change it a little bit to make your point. And that's the best way to argue, with facts behind you. You know, so yeah, it's just that easy. All right, so that was that. Oh yeah, and then we got fucking, like I said, we got people in our community that just hates them damn self. That's the reason I started talking about the DNA test. We got people in our community that hates themselves, right? They hate themselves so much that they want to align with white America. That's what you're looking at when you're looking at people like Mr. Solutions and Sarge and ABC. Their ideas are so in line with America that they don't give a fuck about what black people are talking about. They don't give a fuck about the black struggle. They don't give a fuck about the inequality, the injustice that happens in to our community. They just don't care, right? Because the white man's water is colder, in their opinion, right? It's better. Maybe you paid $999. No, I paid $59, nigga. No, $99. But they don't care about their heritage. They don't care about where they come from. And look at me. Whenever I found out that I was from the west coast of Africa, from all those places, at one time I was being convinced that I was from Egypt. You know, something with me, some part of my DNA has something to do with Egypt. And I was questioning, and I questioned that, and I said, okay, well, shit, let me just find out, because, you know, I got questions. So I spent the money, I found out, and then that's what I found out, and I accepted the damn truth. I didn't go fight and find out, and, you know, and try to argue that, no, I'm really Egyptian and all this kind of bullshit, because I was in love with the history. No. You accept the truth. And listen, those civilizations back then was great civilizations, but you know they had their flaws too. I can't do like black people on social media and romanticize and deify that time period like they do, because those people was fucked up too. Those people was fucked up. Whenever you talking about building the pyramids and Egyptian slaves, that's what the fuck they was. They was Egyptian slaves. And then people come on here and tell me, no, they weren't really slaves. They was working in servitude or whatever. They was fucking slaves. You can butter it up. It wasn't like the transatlantic slave trade. But humanity back then was still treating the less fortunate humans terrible. They just were. Humanity back then still fought wars and killed mass people. They just did. You know, there's been a lot of stories told about those people that lived back there, and people romanticize those figures. And that's fine. You can have that. But let's just be real. These people, they was human. As a matter of fact, it was human living in an earlier time than what we're living in, right? So they was more ancient than what we are, right? And I don't know. To me, try not to knock old civilizations, but I think people living in modern day and into the future may be a little wiser than those folks was. You know, because don't so many people believe in ghosts and goblins. And then, you know, after that time period, there's been in world history a lot of rebellions because they don't want to be oppressed all over the world, not just here in America. You know, so I don't knock the ancient civilizations. I'll accept them for what they did at that time. But a lot of people try to mimic the ancient civilizations, which is bad shit crazy to me. Why would you try to mimic 1,000-year-old civilization in modern times? You can compliment them, and you can give praise for what they accomplished. But to try to do what they did, I don't know. I don't know about that. See, and when it gets that deep, people get offended. People get mad as fuck. Whenever you saying that you don't want to live like the ancients did or whatever, right? People don't understand that modern human and Homo sapiens are probably a lot better off than they were thousands of years ago. Okay, so that brings me to that. I was talking about black people and us being divided amongst each other. That was the reason that I got into that whole ramble about the DNA and us being divided, niggas versus black people, you know, because that's been ingrained in our head that there's a difference between us. It's been ingrained in our head when you hear people say that there's no black culture. It's been ingrained in our head that black people are criminal, right? And me doing a little bit of studying, I'm not a scholar, I know partly why we think like that. I know why we look at ourselves and we hate ourselves sometimes, right? Because our parents and their parents and their parents have been told that our black skin is bad. And not only that, they propagandize that the black person was lazy and ignorant and slow. And you don't want to be associated with that. I grew up with a time whenever I got off the school bus, And I went in the house at 4:30 or 4 o'clock or whenever I got home, turn on the TV, and the cartoons was playing. I looked at images of black people in grass skirts and big lips, and them being the bad people, them being witch doctors. That's propaganda that lasts in our society. When I grew up in a time watching the damn commercials where they show little African kids in Ethiopia with big bellies saying, for only 5 cents a day, you can help this kid. I grew up in a time where they made Tarzan movies, right? And Tarzan was what? He was a white man swinging through the jungle, trying to get away from the savages in the jungle, right? And all that's propaganda. So I understand why people like ABC and Sarge and all the other coons look at black people as bad, because in part, they've been propagandized to believe that somehow or another black people is bad. And then when you move past those times that I'm talking about as a kid, then you get into the broadcast area where they start demonizing black people as evil, and then coming up with things like the three strike laws. And that time is complicated, because it made a difference that black people was raising so much hell in that time, because so many resources was being kept away from black people. Now, I'm not arguing for criminality. I'm not arguing at all, but you have to look at the unfairness in the way this society treat black people, right? How they criminalize us. And then you talking about the people that are coming out of a period of Jim Crow, and still not getting treated fairly. So you're going to have a rebellious nature to that society. And even till today, I'm not saying criminality is correct, but I understand why black people do what they do because of economics. And every time I tried to bring up this conversation in earlier conversations about what black people need, nobody wants to hear it. And it takes a government to undo what the fuck they did to black people, because it was the government that put us in this predicament. And then when I bring this conversation, you always get cut off with, oh, you wanting a handout, and you wanting, and that's not the conversation that I'm trying to have. Because if that was the conversation, you can look at the farmers right now today. They're getting a fucking handout. You can look at the fucking corporations that take subsidies. They're getting handouts. You can look at Donald Trump and his whole administration. They're getting handouts. You can look at when the COVID happened and these rich businesses put in and applied for the PPP loan. They're getting handouts. Right? What I'm talking about for black Americans is for the government to reinvest into its own people that they never showed any interest in anytime else. I'm talking about investing monetarily, of course, but with education, with access. That's what's going to fix the problem in our community, because we do have a problem. And I'm saying this for my community, because I'm not saying we have a problem and the other communities don't have a problem, because white people are the biggest criminals on the goddamn planet. And I'll say that every time. When you look at the crime statistics, the criminal statistics, they outweigh everybody else by far. They are the biggest crimes, um, in the biggest criminals in the world. So, but the government needs to fix what it broke in our community. Cause that's the only that's why when I hear this black on crime, black on black crime, and look at the single moms and why do they all live in the projects and why are they all on welfare? That's some all all of that shit is not one motherfucking black hand constructed those projects. Not one. And the reason I'm saying that is that you would have an argument if black people constructed a community at the same time white people did, and it was successful, just as successful as white community, and then it went down. Then you could have that argument. But the predicaments and conditions that black people live in today is not created by us. The job situation that we face is not created by us. The education shortfalls, the lack of resources, the lack of medical care, that is not created by us. So whenever people start arguing those arguments about black people policing themselves, they fall on deaf ears with me. There's no conversation to be had with me when it comes to that. You know, not publicly. If it was somebody, I don't know, somebody in my family, somebody that I knew, that I felt like I could interject myself and do something about. And this is what other black people should do, I think. If you have influence on that person that you see doing wrong, then try to correct them. You know, just do that. Reach out to them. Don't put yourself in harm's way, but try to reach out to them. See if you can talk some sense into them, which is going to be hard to do. It's a uphill struggle because of what they're facing. Because of what they're facing. And this society is fucking hell for black people in this country. It really is. I seen Donald Trump make some comments about the Somalians in Minnesota. And the reason that I'm saying that is because African Americans don't only have white people against us in this country and black people against their own black people. You got black people against us from other countries. You got Asian people against us. You got Hispanic people against us. You got people, everybody in this fucking world on this planet is anti-black. Everybody is anti-black. And it's easily identifiable through policy, through policing. But whenever you try to bring it up, people are saying you're playing the race cards. But it's okay for the Jews to bring up being anti-Semitic. I got my own opinions about the Jews. I think the Jews, well, I guess I've done this. Those people are full of shit. Elisa keep correcting me. I guess the Zionists, the fucking Israeli Jews, those are the ones I'm talking about. I'm not talking about the religion. You know, but those people, the government, those people are full of shit. Those people, you can't even say what I just said and not be attacked by them and white America trying to correct you but it's okay for them and the rest of the world to talk shit about black people. It's just one of those things. And then they make their Holocaust. They make their Holocaust the one that people need to recognize and understand and remember. And at the same time, they're trying to make you forget about the black Holocaust of slavery. They're trying to tear down the black history in this country, ban the black historical books, and shut you up when you ask for equality and fairness and justice, and tell you that diversity, equity, and inclusion is racist. We live in some terrible times now. We live in some terrible times. While Donald Trump sucking on Bill Clinton dick. We live in some crazy times. And listen, I titled the show, by the end of Trump term, America will be gone. I truly, because we have not been 1 year. We have not been 1 year. And these people hit the ground running and have not slowed down. The Supreme Court gave this man immunity. And at the time, I don't think people realized what that meant. That meant that Donald Trump, at that time I said it, that meant that Donald Trump was the king when the Supreme Court made that decision. When you got immunity and you the president of the United States of America, that means that you can break any law that you want to and not be held accountable. The Supreme Court made us a king. And that's what Donald Trump has been acting like ever since, with his corruption. And people bringing him gold, trinkets. And him adorning the White House walls with gold. And him releasing violent criminals. And using the pardon power to do whatever. And him going after his political enemies, like Letitia James and James Comey. Him locking people up, him creating his own militia, his own military, and attacking American citizens. The administration will attack you if you say something negative about Donald Trump. Donald Trump is a goddamn king. You know, they will argue you back and say, well, we don't have a king. We don't never have a king. Listen, Donald Trump is acting just like a fucking king. You can't question him. You look at him going after the broadcast networks. You look at him going after the media. You can't say nothing negative about Donald Trump. Donald Trump administration has just murdered people near Venezuela. But he didn't go through Congress to get permission. Him and his Department of Defense, I guess they call it the Department of War, they just murdered people. They are processing people in this country, not allowing them due process, putting them on planes, shipping them to fucking alligator Alcatraz and to Africa and to all of these concentration camps all over the goddamn world. Donald Trump is acting like a goddamn king. And people will play Semitics with what I'm saying here and say, no, he's not a king and all this kind of bullshit. Well, you can look at it how the fuck you want to look at it. But look at his actions. He's not going through none of the normal processes to install these fucking, what are they, state attorney generals or whatever they is. Look at Alina Habba and Lindsey Higgins or whatever her fucking name is. I'm not saying that they're illegal. The courts are saying that they're illegal appointments. He's acting like a goddamn king, doing shit that is outside of the law. And in the process, he's going to tear down this damn democracy. See, he's already started. Like I said, he closed the Department of Education. And he got rid of a lot of government workers that help keep this thing running. This thing is going to be so busted when Donald Trump leaves that I don't even know if it's going to be repaired. He's taking away health care and claiming that he's going to put it in some type of private market. Donald Trump has said that he wants a 50-year fucking mortgage. What fucking American agrees with any of that? And then now that he's done murdered people in Venezuela, in the Caribbean, and there has been Congress people that came out and told soldiers not to follow illegal orders, he wants to try to court-martial them, call them treasonous and seditious when they merely repeated the fucking rules of the military. If you are a soldier for 10 goddamn minutes, you know the UCMJ does not allow you to follow unlawful orders. As a matter of fact, I think it says it that way. I don't know what article it is, but it tells you to follow lawful orders. If they wanted you to follow orders in general, they would not use the word lawful in the UCMJ. It tells you clearly to follow lawful orders. And what Donald Trump and Pete Hegseth is doing is unlawful. They're just murdering people. And if it was any other administration, those people would be in jail. But because white America has been conned, the Republican Party is in this slumber, like a cult-like slumber, and they're all kissing the ass of this fucking their supreme leader, their king. And the Supreme Court gave him the right to get away with anything. They're just going around the world, murdering people, and they're trying to start a war with Venezuela. As a matter of fact, he just pardoned one of those damn leaders that was a drug trader. I don't know who the name of that was who named that guy was, but he just pardoned that guy. He's allowing the world's largest pedophilia ring and child sex trafficking ring to not be challenged by the American people or the courts by blocking access to records and just making the process very difficult to find out what was going on with those children being raped and molested at Mar-a-Lago and at Jeffrey Epstein's island. And years ago, I told y'all about that court document with the 13-year-old. Well, now that they're talking about it again, I think her name was like Casey Black or something like that. It's coming back up again. This guy is a fucking disgusting piece of shit that white America and people who want to be white America like ABC and Sarge is allowing to get away with everything that he fucking... Okay, I need to shut the fuck up. Okay, y'all call in. I've been rambling for so long. The number to call is 717-908-1834. The participant code is 1917324. And since y'all listening, once again, I am going to change the access code and the dial-in number. So next week it would all be different, and then there'll only be like 3 people that have access to this thing, which would be me, Sister Nobody, and ABC. That way, when y'all on here during the week, nobody won't fuck with the board or anything like that. And it's a damn shame that I got to do that. It's a fucking shame that I got to do that. I don't know who the fuck fucking with it. You know, I would call names of previous owners, but I'm not going to do that because I don't want no fucking trouble. Not previous owner, but previous people who had access. And then the only other person that got access is Howard. That's it, you know. So I don't know. So it's just going to be a new number and a new access code next week when I change the number. But Miss Elisa, I got your line open. Welcome to the show. How you doing tonight? Uh-oh. I didn't. Uh-oh. Let me see if I turn my speaker on. Okay, are you there?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Okay, I can hear you now. My speaker was off.
Yeah, I'm doing okay. How are you?
I'm doing all right.
That's good. Good. I think you said you're gonna change the number next week. I don't even want to know what went on, but maybe it's a good idea.
Yeah.
I was just finishing watching up a documentary. I was hearing some of the things. You are aware that a lot of the things you know that, right?
Yeah. I know that there's a structure there behind him that's pushing him to do this shit.
That's the dangerous part. Because
Yeah.
they got him right where they want him. Mind deteriorating. And I think I read or saw on one of the news that he cut his, because I remember when Biden had cut his um,
Yeah, I seen that. I seen it somewhere. I heard it somewhere when they were talking about that he cut back on his hours and
news
appearing and stuff like that.
working very visible now. But still, nonetheless, this is a very dangerous shit show going on
Yeah.
for the entire world. It really is. It really is. And some of his power, some of his staying power. I
Oh yeah,
mean,
there's a
think
bunch of
about
crazy folks out there. There's a bunch of crazy folks out there.
physical. You just
Yeah, they are. But
actually
I don't know how he amassed.
Einstein.
I don't know how he amassed a nation of idiots. Well, I ain't gonna say a nation. A base of idiots, a base of supporters that are completely
They
stupid.
a base like
Yep, yep.
and
See, and then
the
people are scared.
economy go amok.
They programmed us to love capitalism and not talk about
Mm-hmm.
other economic things like socialism or different ways to do it. You know, they always wanted the capitalism to work because it benefits the rich. But what capitalism do is have the other side too, where everybody's extremely poor, and you watching that in the housing market. You watching it in the housing market and the automobile market, where people cannot afford to fucking pay rent. They can't afford to buy houses no more. They can't afford to. I seen a fucking $100,000 fucking car, which is ridiculous, and it won't no fucking expensive damn car. It was like a Denali or something like that, like a Yukon or something like that. It was $100,000, and I'm like, what the fuck is that? That's some bullshit.
It's expensive, and you have other countries that
Yeah, I heard something about it, about them putting $1,000 in the stock market or something.
Yeah, and I was like, okay, I know there's something more to that than just what they're saying. Why would those two jails, from jail get that type of money? All that is, and when it was broken down, different people like this, you put the brains on it, finance people and all of those different people like that, to put them on it, and you got your answer. That's a way for them to funnel more money, as you said, to the stock market, to the corporation, and to the financiers like that's going to be managing these accounts. And so all of that's just more ways to funnel government money. And if people put money into it for your children over the years, by the time they're 18, that's just a way for them to suck more money out of you. And when that thing was broken down, they have been trying to do something like this for years. And now that you have him sitting up there, Al Brain, they're able to do it because that's what that is a slippery slope of moving over to Social Security, privatizing that. All that is for them to put the way to put money. And when the child turns 18, like they were saying, when they turn 18, they have certain ways that you can draw from it. I think you can cash it out. I think when you're 20, whatever it is. And at 18, you can take some out. They was like put a down payment on a house, and the only amount of money, if you just go by what the government put in and how they're managing it on the stock, what the Feds is gonna put in and how they manage it on the stock, you ain't gonna have no more maybe $2,000 to take out at 18 years. $2,000 ain't nothing now.
Well, it's a stupid
It
plan.
won't be anything. Huh?
It's a stupid plan because you shouldn't invest in a yeah, you shouldn't invest in the stock market like that because the stock market is liable to crash. And you can see, and
Exactly.
I think this is a bubble now. We're looking at all these housing prices. We look, like I said, the automobile prices, the commodities, all that shit. This shit getting ready to bust. And if you got something going like that, and you got all this money invested in the stock market, somebody gonna lose out
Uh-huh.
big time. Whenever this thing busts, I wouldn't trust the
That's just
government
a
to do that.
money. That's a money. That's a scheme to put more money into the stock market for these corporations. That's all that is for the rich and rich. And if you put your money into it on top of what they put in it, it's to get more of your money, as if they're not sucking enough out of the working people and getting rid of all the social programs and the things that people rely on. That is what this country is capitalism has run amok, and we're all watching it. And like people say, the United States of America was the greatest social experiment there ever was. We're about to bring it. It's about to be brought to its knees.
Yeah, and we look at it, we talk about these politicians all the time because they're the ones that's in the front. But you got to blame these people out here in society that put these people in power. All of these freaking people that just living day to day, the people, just ordinary people. They're the ones that's responsible for what's going on.
trajectory. Like everybody who, like they said, that the generation with the money, you have some exes have some have a little something, but the boomers is the one who when they go, you can forget the tail end millennials and Gen X and all of them. They're not going to be able to do a damn thing. You're selling your children's future because you're still allowing the same old stuff to give you somebody to point a finger at.
Yeah, that's one of my
The only
biggest
difference
worries
is,
is I don't know what these young folk gonna do. They can't
I
do
don't know what they're
nothing.
going to do. Dude, I don't know what we going to do because things is speeding up on us. I don't know what we going to do. Forget them. They future is lost.
Yeah.
But I don't know what we going to do this here. What are we going to do? It's lost. The people, they trying to suck us dry. This capitalism gone amok. Like Elon Musk is what he's gonna be. I don't know if he got the money yet. Your first trillionaire. No one needs to be that. No one needs to be that. But I don't have a problem with it, long as you're not sucking everybody dry. If you're not sucking everybody dry, everybody pay their fair share in taxes. If you got 50 billion over there, fine. Just don't try to extort more from me. So it's just everything is run amok. Everything is the craziness is out here, and it's getting worse. And we're watching distraction. Like you said, once he's gone, once all of this is gone, what's gonna be left? Uh, there's gonna be something left. It's just gonna have to be something new, something different. America we knew is gone. We're not gonna get that back.
Yeah,
And
yeah. I
and
don't know how. I don't know how to. I don't,
and that wasn't even good. That wasn't all that great to begin with. But what it was, that's gone. That's over. It's done. It has to be something. It's going to be something new. That's the only thing I can say.
yeah, I don't know how they're gonna undo this because not only will Trump be gone, but you're gonna have people that are corrupt that are still in power that is still gonna be or still gonna be corrupt. And one of the main things is the Supreme Court. They're corrupt as I don't know what, and they're still gonna be corrupt whenever Trump leaves. And he putting in these corrupt judges, and I don't know what the hell we're gonna do.
Well, for one thing, the first thing they can start with is term limits. And I mean mainly for the bench. Can I start with it? Just for life appointments, they're gonna have to get. They're gonna do that. That's the first thing I have to start with, and that can be done. So set term limits for them. Now I would say that we have set term limits for the Senate and Congress, and we have term limits for governors. I don't know what the hell they doing in Texas, but the states have term limits for governors, and for the House and the Senate for them too. But I will say this: you have some people that is in the House and Senate that you need, regardless of how long they've been there, because they know how to wheel and deal, they know how to do the things and get the things done. So I think what we start with them is cognitive tests for the House and the Senate every several years, every few years or whatever. But we really get, I think we really need to get into some type of term limit, and you can do exceptions for those who are extraordinary and that are for the people and trying to do the right thing. I don't have the answers,
Hmm.
but it's got to start with the bench. You got to start with the bench. The bench. You got to set term limits for all of these judges all over the country that are posted for. You got to set term limits for them and for the top bench. That is the first thing that you have to start with, because the setup that we have that was before, wherever this is we're at now, the setup that was before was extremely flawed, and now we're all sitting back seeing how flawed it was. So just like a lot of the things Trump is doing, you're trying to start wars. What's going on out there in the Caribbean? Waters out there. I definitely all of these things that we're seeing, and even the name, the change for the Department of Defense, Department of War, all that stuff is fictitious. The laws are still the same.
Yeah.
Because none of the things that they are doing, they haven't changed any laws. The
Yeah,
laws
all that
are the
stuff is
same.
illegal.
We don't know how all of it is illegal. So even the name change, that's why I see a lot of people, alternative media and regular media, they still say the Department of Defense because that's just something that he wrote a executive order. You can't change laws that way. So that's why these people who are out here doing these things, the laws are still the laws. The laws haven't been changed. Just because he say so, I say so, because of because of the power that they gave to him, and because one party completely fell and capitulated to everything. They
Yep.
bent the knee. So the laws are still the same. Like this is what we say because I say so. Okay, I say so. You can push it. You can have lawlessness. The bench is screwed, and all this lawlessness. But guess what? The laws are still the same. No laws has been changed. Department of War is still the Department of Defense. The Gulf of Mexico is still the Gulf of Mexico.
Mm-hmm.
And all of the things are still the same. None of that's been changed. It takes an act of Congress and different things like that, and amendments and things to change these things. So that's why we have to see what comes out in the rent. I think a lot of people are going to go to prison. Oh, and another thing that needs to, but I don't know if this can't be done, but they might can oversight. I don't know how the power of the court, Congress and what are all of them, they can't. I don't think they can't throw that. I don't think they can remove that. But they're gonna have to come up with because I got into a horrible argument with someone a couple of days ago, and they was like they need to take the power of the pardon away. And I was like, well, the power of the pardon, presidential pardon, and governors can pardon. That can be a good thing, and that can be a thing when used properly and when used right. That is a thing that I think they should have the power to do because you have people who are wrongly convicted. You have people who prosecute, 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 prosecute who prosecute people over prosecution and different things like that. You have a lot of that has gone on throughout the decades in the country throughout the time. You need to have a mechanism that can be when Rome has been prosecutorial misconduct. That's the word when they things like that. You need to have a mechanism where that can be made right with a stroke. You see what I'm saying? So the pardon can be a good tool. It can be a tool to set wrongdoing right. Once it's studied, valued, some of the best minds on it, like when the president, when most presidents we've had, like when they make all these pardons at the end of the year and throughout this and that, like with as far as like cocaine versus crack cocaine, those prosecutions a day. I mean, that was how that was over prosecution on one and on the other racist things, different things like that. That was a good thing to be able to have the power of pardon, the power of to give clemency, and that's for all of the governors too. So I think that's a thing that should be when done right. And you put they have the highest legal minds to get in and they go over these cases and fine tooth it and go, yes, this, that. We have moved on. The laws have since changed from when this, how we used to do this. So now we need to get we need to do maybe some clemency. Or we need to, you see what I'm saying, Tyrone?
Well, yeah, I mean they're not going to get rid of the pardon, but I agree with
I don't
you.
think they can. I don't think they
Yeah,
can.
I agree with you. There need to be some laws enacted that restrict some type of in some type of way
Something.
the limits of what somebody can do. If it's borderline in corruption, if it's wrongdoing, we have a judicial system that can put guidelines in place that can say you can and you cannot do these type of pardons. But that'll alter the pardon because it's supposed to be unrestricted, and that better be pushed back. But you ain't gonna get rid of it. But going from Donald Trump's time in office and watching how he abused the pardon, something needs to be done. Some type of restrictions, because this guy just pardoned that damn drug lord or whatever the fuck, this ex-president. I forgot where.
From Honduras.
Yeah,
From Honduras.
and they worried about the illegal drug trade and fentanyl and all that stuff, and he pardoned the man that was sending the shit here. So he pardoned that man, so he gonna get right back to sending fucking drugs here. So this tells you that this White House is full of shit. So yeah, I agree with you. There need to be some type of restrictions on that pardon.
They're gonna have to come up with. I don't know how it can be done, but they cannot take it away. Because I was reading up on that the other day. We got into this argument, and I don't think that Congress can just come snatch it back. I don't know what entity. It said there's things that can be done when egregious pardons, but I don't think you can reverse it or turn it. I don't know. I'm not a legal scholar, so I don't know. But I know that's a difficult thing to just say they just need to be strict. But I think as we move forward in a new America, you're gonna have to come up with something. You have to come up with something, because this is just ridiculous. All of these criminals, I mean, just stone cold criminals. Drugs. That was what's that? This is the ex-president, ex-leader, or whatever they call him in Honduras. This man was like one of the starting of the cocaine pipeline. And the only thing that he said, what did he say? Something about, I don't care, they ship as much cocaine over there and let the gringo and shove it up the gringo's nose, or some kind of something he said. And they asked something like, what are you doing? The press and stuff, and they asked him. He said it was a malicious prosecution by the Biden administration. So we don't know what's behind. That's just something he said. That man brain is out. That's just something he said. But there's something behind why this man was pardoned.
Yeah, I believe Donald Trump. That told me that Donald Trump is somehow or another, and it's not visible, but somehow or another he's connected to the goddamn drug trade. Now I can't prove that. And that's alleged. That's alleged. But somehow or another, he connected to the drug trade.
It's something that we don't know yet. We probably will find out in the future why he pardoned this man. But it's not just this man, it's all these other criminals. I mean, stone cold criminals. And like that one, the one who was doing online drugs, I forget what he was, that man, all that thing that was doing on the dark web thing, and they was doing all that drugging and different things like that. He got a pardon. It's something. And when they asked him about it, the only thing, and the one guy who he was supposed to pay back all this money was doing all this stealing and some kind of mess, and he pardoned the Asian guy. And he was saying that his sons had brought it up to him. It's something to do with crypto, this dude. And his sons had mentioned it. It's something in it with this Honduran leader. It's something behind this, why they're doing it. It's just, and the pardons is becoming more egregious and egregious and egregious and egregious and egregious and egregious.
Yeah, somehow or another, Donald Trump got something to do with this drug trade. I can't prove that, but it wouldn't surprise me. He's in the child pedophile ring. He's in the crypto. He's in all this corrupt stuff. So that wouldn't surprise me if he got something to do with the drug trade.
There's something going on. The reason why they pardoned this man. And when you, I know MAGA Mike, that little weasel, when he was asking about, what did they say? Well, I don't know anything about that. You all claim to know everything, but when it's something that sounds scandalous, or something on that line that is egregious, Oh well, I would have to find out about that. I don't know anything about that. And like that old crypto guy, they asked something one who stole all of that money. Actually, but I don't know anything about that. Well, you the one who always harping about Joe Biden's auto pen and he was doing this that. And as soon as somebody asks you, I don't know anything about that. I don't know anything about that. I don't know anything about it. So you just pardoning people. Somebody say, I don't know anybody in prison right in federal prison right now. So if I say you pardon, yeah, pardon, yeah. Then when somebody asks you about it, I don't know. And you want to know why? He probably doesn't know anything about it. If people brought the paper to him and said, we this is right, this, that, this is going to look good for you, the people will cheer you on, and then he signs it. So he might, and that might be true. He might know nothing about it, but somebody else behind him knows about it. It might be very well. It might be telling the truth about. And just like those strikes and things on those fiscal votes, which a lot of people suspect are fishing boats or whatever it is that they were doing
Mm-hmm.
out there in the waters. And he's like, well, I don't know. And that was the one thing that I believe when he said about a second strike and about a I don't know anything about that. I believe it.
I
I didn't
didn't
know
believe.
anything about
No, 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 no. He was lying, Elisa, when he said he didn't know nothing about. Listen,
I believe
no, because he was all
because
on Fox News. He was all on Fox News telling us about the strike.
yeah, because he was telling us about the strike, but what all went on and this and that and the second strike, when he says I didn't know anything about that, no, he might not. That man is in serious uh cognitive decline.
Well,
They said they told
I
him,
think
look,
he just straight up
this
lying.
make you look strong. This make you look strong. This make you look this. This make you look that. And he's like, yeah, I didn't say he doesn't know about it. Yeah, he is told about it. He knows about it. But all the intricate things that he should know about it and the behind the scenes things, he might not know all about that. Because he's
No,
not all there.
the
But he
reason
knows about it.
the reason that I say that he know because his command was kill everybody. They struck the first boat, and they was telling him about the survivors, and then he the commander got the command to kill everybody. That's what was reported. So they had to get those orders from Pete Hegseth.
That's what Pete Hegseth know all about. I'm not talking about him. I said Trump.
Oh, Trump. Oh yeah,
They
Trump.
know
Trump.
who
Trump don't know shit. Yeah.
yes, I'm saying Trump. I'm not talking about Pete Hegseth know all about it. That's my opinion.
Yeah, I thought you
PK is
talking about. I thought
mad.
you talking about Pete
I'm
Hegseth.
saying, no, I'm talking about Trump. Probably doesn't know about all them things. He knows that it happened, but everything that went on is second strikes and this and that. That's Pete Hegseth doing. And then they know we're gonna do this and this is what we're doing right now. Trump might not know about all of the he's supposed to, the intricate things, but if it make him look like strong man, he go along with whatever it is. No, Pete Hegseth definitely knew. So you really don't know what Trump knows and what Trump doesn't know. We really don't know. But he knows that he's putting up all this gold and how the people like to go. He decorated the Lincoln bedroom. Not Lincoln bedroom, the Lincoln he changed the Lincoln bathroom and he did this. And he can keep up with that kind of stuff. How about that man don't know what's going on?
Yeah, he even got
With
people
all these other people,
bringing him trinkets and bringing him gifts and stuff like that, and that's illegal.
and yeah, and he getting gifts, and they giving him this, and they giving him the praise, and that's all he cares about is the flattery and the praise. And look at what they gave me. This came from such and such, and they just go, and we're gonna give you this, and that's what it's not right. It's a sad situation. It's a horrible, sad situation, and you got dingbat and some over here who go along with it. I just, and I just have to pull away from this stuff every time you hear today is this, tomorrow is that,
Yeah, it's a lot.
today is this.
It's a lot. I done started playing video games and looking at anime. I can't take all this. This too much for me.
I can't either. I can't. We expected some snow into the show, I was finishing up watching. I said I gotta get on. You gotta still stay engaged. You have
Yeah,
to,
yeah, yeah.
but you got to stay engaged. But I was watching the Diddy documentary. I was like, cause I just turned
Oh, the one
one
from
of my
50
dog
Cent?
videos. Yeah, 50 Cent did. Yeah, so you just got to get off this, cause every day is more awful.
Yeah, it causes depression. It really does.
Mhm.
I'm not a psychiatrist or nothing, but I know this much terrible news all the time can't be healthy for you mentally.
Mhm.
It cannot be.
It's not. It's not healthy for your mind. It's not healthy. All of this for people who got a clue about what's going on. This probably done shaved off a couple years from our life
Oh yeah.
that we had, cause COVID drank out when we was going through that and the fear and this and that. This too. I mean, cause you got to pull away from it. You have, and I think that this was something to do with this, but it's so silly. Uh, I've always said I'm a dog collector. I like the dog videos, dog art, all of those things. That's my hobby. I love it. I like the thrift, and I don't go to the thrift shop to go to get together with friends, and we would go thrift on the weekends. And I told you I said that the thrift, all the main thrift stores that I used to like to go look for old stuff. I just love doing that. And but they're all the good ones is all located up, all up surrounded, all wrapped up around in our sanctuary city. And I just,
Hmm.
don't break news and they go, oh, and I get round up into stuff. You see what I'm saying? So I'm not even doing that.
Yeah,
And
cause ice is everywhere. Anybody can get picked up by
yeah,
ice.
so I'm not. You don't want to get caught up in that. I'm sure my family will do their due diligence with what to get me home. But anything liable to happen to you when you're in lockup,
Yeah,
and
you heard about Caroline Levitt having her sister-in-law, her
her,
ex
her
sister-in-law
nephew,
picked up.
yeah. So I'm just stay away from around the thrifting and stuff because it's in the sanctuary city, and that's where a lot of I don't know what it looks like around there because they stupid if they still going because that's where they do a lot of their shopping and stuff. And I was serious around there. I haven't been thrifting in probably about 8 months now. I haven't been about 8 months and don't have any plan on going back because that's right. All of them, the best ones, is all up in the heart of sanctuary of our because we have a pretty sizable sanctuary city,
Hmm.
and I'm not going up around in places because I don't want to see that. I don't want. And I've been doing my best to stay out of the city because I don't want to see the National Guard patrolling, and I just
Yeah, that's
Cause
another
so
group of
far,
people that voted for this mess. They voted for Donald Trump. I was watching
uh,
the briefing from Minnesota where them Somalians they was giving a briefing supporting Donald Trump, and I was like, y'all just dumb.
yeah.
And
And
Donald,
now look at
yeah,
and now look, he calling them scumbags and all kinds of stuff in front of his vote calling. And it's just like, 'cause people was like, well, where the Somali Magas at? Y'all quiet. Y'all gone quiet. Just like the Latinos and the Cubans and everybody done gone quiet. Because
yep,
people told y'all this is what this was gonna be. Now he calling you scumbags and trash when everybody said this is what it was gonna be, and you wouldn't listen. So it's just like it's just you want to find some joy. It's like some people going on vacation and stuff. And I'm not sure they going on vacation. My cousin went to Hawaii. He was like, I gotta do something. So she just sit and listen. And him and some other people I know they went on vacation. It was like we should not be spending no money on vacations and stuff right now. But I'm like I feel you because I'm not spending any like you have your money to pay your things and keep yourself going on. Then you have your free money. I'm not spending free money on anything right now, and that's no way to live.
yeah. It
It's
ain't.
no
It
way to
ain't. You
live.
should be able to enjoy yourself. I mean, I guess did you see the Target Black Friday thing?
Yeah, I enjoyed those videos. I was so happy that that happened to them. I enjoy. I just laughed off that. I was so happy to see that they had contemplating y'all face, and I was so happy to see that they were so deserving. They went to Target and Karma jumped right out in the bag. That was so good for them. That was funny to me. I thoroughly enjoyed that. That was so funny to me. That was good enough for you.
Yeah, Target don't give a crap about people. I mean, they care they just like everybody else. They care about appeasing the administration. Whatever the administration say, that's what they gonna do. They don't give a crap about their customers.
And I hate that Target turns into that because I prefer Target over Walmart. I have always despised Walmart. So if I could get it out of Target, Walmart is a store I don't go. I just go into a lot. Every now and then you got to, but Target was always my store of choice to go to. I like
Yeah, Target
Target
is nice.
and a lot. Yeah, I used to buy a lot of things out of Target. That was my store of choice. When you for that type of stuff, I can't stand Walmart. And I so hate and Target. They're they have a lot of people of color, black, and these other people that work for that corporation. And from my understanding, it was a better corporation to work for. Say as far as the benefits, because they had better benefits and stuff like that, and they paid their employees more an hour. They said it was a better company to work for than Walmart. So that's why I would support Target and the things that I buy. And I noticed that some of the prices and things in Target, we have the super Targets and stuff. And y'all have them in South Carolina too. The super Targets.
Mm-hmm.
And their prices and things I had found were better, actually, better than Walmart on certain things. And it's better quality of things than Walmart. And I so hate. I said, golly, y'all done ruined my store. And I want to go in that you can get almost, not everything, but almost. I enjoy shopping in Target. And I have to admit, during the boycott, I did sneak in there a few times to get some stuff. I'm sorry. Because it was some things that I wanted, but I don't shop there. But it's the things that I wanted, and I saw it was on sale, and I said, people gonna have something to say. It was this doll I wanted really, 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 really bad, and I was had everybody laughing. And Target was the only place that sold it,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, "Ooh, I want that. Ooh, I want that doll really, really bad." And I don't want to pay secondary market, eBay, Alea, the singer Aaliyah. They did her doll with her whatever anniversary of her death or
Oh,
her
okay.
album that she had. I wanted that so bad. Oh, I like celebrity dolls. Not all of them. It depends. Is she black and everything? I want it because that's my era of music when I was real, real young and this, that, when she was out. I wanted that so bad. And it came out after they had called for the boycott. And I went on ahead and I said, I'm just going to let it go. I'm not going to get it because I'm not buying anything at Target. And then when people was getting them anyway, they didn't get it a lot. They were getting people was buying. I was all jealous online. And then one of the groups, somebody said, "Y'all, anybody still want their a layer doll?" I didn't comment because I didn't want anybody to see me commenting.
Yeah, yeah.
And they was like, this is what you do. You wait till 2 o'clock in the morning and then you get up. They put a few because they was all sold out, and they put a few online and you might can get one. I didn't comment because I didn't my alarm clock and I got up and they were right. And they had some. I put that sale in so fast and bought that dog. And I felt so bad. Because I
No,
said,
you
these
ain't have
are
to
the
feel
folks that
bad.
you.
You ain't have to feel bad. I
I
mean,
felt bad. I felt bad. And I remember I didn't tell anybody that I had bought it. And it came, and I told my mom about it. She said, you was this, you should have been, and you be fussing about how everybody used you. If you don't stand for something, you fall for anything. You be the biggest mouth running. And I was like, yeah, I know. And she, because I'm not a praying person. I don't follow religion. And I said, what should I do? And she said, just pray on it.
Mm-hmm.
We both laughed because she know me.
Yeah, yeah,
She
yeah.
said, just pray on it and ask for forgiveness.
Well, no,
And you
Target
know what
Target felt
happened?
the effects of that boycott. Target still feeling the effects of people not wanting to go there.
Yeah, so I just felt bad, but I got that dog. I got it. And I did what my mother said. She said, well, just pray over it and ask for forgiveness. And I said, that's what I'll do.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I'm not religious, but I prayed over it. I remembered some prayers, and I prayed over it, and
Mm-hmm.
I moved on. And they had something else I had wanted that was on sale that I used to get out of there all the time. And I was going to the other store, and I'm in my car. I said, I want to buy this in case the neighbors, somebody see, because we was talking about this. And I went up in there and looking up, make sure nobody don't see, because the Target near me is a nice Target too. And people go up there, they take pictures and stuff, and they used to do a brisk business, and I don't know how they still hanging on because ain't nobody don't visit and shopping and stuff. And the people were so nice when I went in. I was like, yeah, 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 yeah. Let me just walk real fast and get that shit, get this thing. So I pay for this shit, and you check out and get up out of here. So somebody see me. I know, but I'm really serious when it comes to those things. When you're supposed to stand for something and stand for solidarity and for the people and for the community and for our people. I'm very strong on that kind of stuff.
Right, right,
And
right.
I said, Lisa, and so I'm just very strong on that. And then you did that, and I feel bad. I feel bad that I did that. But I'm sitting up here feeling bad and upset about it. And there's plenty of people who still being shopping. They just don't go up in there and they buy it online. You see what I'm saying?
Well, I mean, it's all
And
right to
have it
feel a little
shipped to them.
guilty because you supposed to feel a little guilty. But I mean, if you know that that's the only place you can get it, I mean, what else can you do?
Have you encouraged me, Tyrone? Have you been up in there shopping?
No, 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 no. I didn't do no Black Friday stuff this year. You know, I
On
didn't.
Black Friday, I would buy anything. I bought anything for Black Friday. That later ago, that was months ago when I did that. But I didn't buy anything for Black Friday. I probably wasn't gonna buy it. Well, there was some stuff I wanted, but because I'm not spending money on things that I don't need, I didn't buy anything for Black Friday, Cyber Monday. You know, I didn't buy anything. You gotta. They people say don't. You gotta make these people who are trying to suck us dry. You gotta stand for something.
Well, yeah, and
And
I seen reports that this Black Friday they made more money than last year's Black Friday. But I don't believe that. I really don't believe it because I don't think people was out buying like that this year.
I didn't know what to think about that. But the more reports that I've seen, yes and no, yes and no. They did. People bought less. But the people who did, this is from what all the economists and everything was saying, that they still got it waiting for all of the numbers to Black Cyber Monday and all of that. The people bought, they spent a little more money, just a little more, but less was bought. And the reason more money was spent because everything costs more. And this was another thing that came out because I like to watch those channels and things like that. I talk about things like that. And they said something like the bulk of everything everybody bought was on credit and pay now, buy now, pay later loans.
Well, what I seen
That's
was it
what.
was the see, and that's what made it seem strange to me because what they was reporting was online numbers. They said that this money was spent online, so technically, Black Friday was a flop for the physical stores because they're not reporting those
Yes,
numbers.
it was.
Yeah,
It was a
they not
flop.
report they reporting online shopping. So when you taking credit for online shopping, you can claim anything was a Black Friday deal or whatever or Black Friday shopping, and I believe they just bumped up those numbers so they can say that they sold more than they
I
did
think
last year.
so. then they were able to say all that online shopping stuff. If people use credit, they were buying their stuff
Yeah.
on credit, and they'll buy now, pay later, or pay monthly. You know those buy now, pay like things called a firm and them different things like that.
Yeah.
They saw a huge spike in people using that. And people are using a huge spike in people using that to buy groceries now. So things is not good. It's not good.
No, cause
So it
shit costs a
wasn't a
lot.
good Black Friday. They're trying to make it seem as though it was. But when you look at the economists break it down, what less things was bought, but people paid more. And people use credit.
Mhm.
And this is mainly online because you can only do that online. People use credit and buy now, pay now. So buy now, pay later loans. And after Christmas, you're gonna start paying on that stuff. And are they gonna pay for it? You see what I'm saying?
Right. Right.
And the job market was they put out the even though Trump is not putting out the numbers, I heard this today because the numbers still get out. You have things that follow and track the numbers of job losses and everything. We're at the high we have beat the highest job loss and that was during COVID. And that's where we are in the month of November, 2025. It's not good. It's not good. It's not good right now. And everybody, they were saying most people are maxed out on credit cards. They're doing buy now, pay, buy, get now, pay, buy now, pay later loans to get food. That's not good. And with all of these layoffs and the job numbers is just awful. And they were saying in the month of November, Trump, they don't have to put the numbers out, they still get out. Something like it was like something like 43,000 jobs was lost in November, and from this company, from that company, we're at a higher job loss right now than during COVID.
Yeah, that should tell you that this administration full of crap because they don't even put out the stats no more. That shows you corruption right there.
And people talking about the stock market is doing fine. That does not tell the story of the overall economy, and people need to
No, it
stop
don't.
saying that with the stock market. They need to stop saying that.
Yeah,
It
the average person shouldn't even count that into consideration about the stock market.
you can't take that into consideration the overall economy with the highest job losses right now. People are maxed out on their credit cards and things like that. Once we tip over into the new year, ooh, it's gonna be it's a catastrophe now. Just have to wait. And that's why people need to start watching more finance channels where you get the information.
Right, right,
Start
right.
reading more of these things where you get the correct information because the administration they ain't putting out the economic numbers anymore. They're not gonna put them out. Well, you can still get them. You can still get the numbers.
Well, yeah, the numbers
Uh,
are out there. You just got to go look for them now, and you'll be able to
yeah,
find them.
they put them out there. There's different finance institutions, financial publications, and things like that. They're putting them out so you could give you a good idea of what's really going on that they're not telling you about. Some of what the stock market is. Just no, it's not. Mm-mm. And that the amount of money that
Well, no,
and
listen.
the overall GDP.
I believe people in the stock market are doing good, right? But like you said, that don't affect everyday people. So the
That
stock,
has something to do with the overall economy of
yeah,
where people are. It's a job loss. Job market is a mess. And all of the job gains they expected to get for the holidays, you know how they just bring and they add that to the job gains for seasonal hiring?
mhm,
Both of the companies then put a halt on seasonal hiring. Some are bringing in just a few more extra people. But we're in a bad state. We're in a bad state right now.
yeah, we got
And
3 more years of
people
this shit.
call in here because somebody called in here a couple of weeks ago with the stock market is this, that. I'm bothered to get pushed back.
Yeah, I mean
I'm not gonna
that's
bother to
somebody
get
that's
pushed back.
ignorant there because they don't. You can't give the president credit for the stock market. He has nothing to do with that.
Mm-mm.
He really don't. Now he can cause
And
it. He can cause it. He can cause it to go down, right? Because of the decision he make and then the news announcement. But he ain't got nothing to do with the stock market going up and down the way. And you can tell that whenever he made these announcements about tariffs, because that was negative, it affected the stock market. But you know, the stock market will bounce back on its own, and they'll keep doing what they're doing.
but that has something to do with that everyday people? No. And the overall economy? No. Because I see like Costco, when they said that they weren't getting rid of the diversity hire and they could and Costco's a lot of other people left other companies, other stores and stuff and so Costco's had a good year. But they have now since filed a federal lawsuit against the
Yeah, I seen
administration
that.
over those tariffs.
Yep,
You
yep.
saw that,
Hmm.
okay? And some of the diehard MAGA talking about we gonna boycott Costco. You want to boycott Costco because they don't want to charge you more money for things?
That's ridiculous. These people are.
You see the craziness that's going on? They take it into court, and you go, but it ain't gonna be no boycott of that. That's the stupid baggers running their mouth. You want to boycott them because they don't want to charge you more money for things? That is just how the diehards is just nuts. Well, y'all go ahead and boycott them. Everybody else will go there and shop. That's what we'll do. So it's just, I don't know.
Well, yeah, I don't. This
Yeah.
administration, I don't know how it's going to end. I mean, this guy's a war criminal. He's a alleged child sex trafficker. He you know, allegedly sexually assaulted people. He's convicted of crimes. He's abusing the justice system. This guy is just corrupt to the core, and these people, I don't know. There's not enough pushback on it.
It's a lot of pushback on the Tyrone.
Not
A lot of
enough. Not
pushback.
enough.
It's pushback. The which you're just not seeing the truth of the pushback like we would want to. But there's a lot of pushback. You're just not seeing the fruits of it like we really want to. But there's a lot of pushback. I think that's the difference here. You're not seeing the truth of the pushback that's going on. We're not
Yeah,
really seeing
the
the
only
truth
one I
of it.
seen like Marjorie Taylor Greene, she's supposed to be resigning, and then I heard something about like this this representative Nancy Mace, she's supposed to be stepping down. Um,
Another one had already announced his step down. Um, it's a lot of pushback. A lot of pushback. These people are busy. It's a lot of pushback. You're just not seeing the fruits that you want to see from the pushback. Not enough fruit from it to share. There's a lot of pushback. That's why there's cracks in the administration. And I know like a lot of people were so upset about the Tennessee, what went on at the Tennessee special election. And people was like, well, they still did it. And and you came straight to mind when I saw you came to my mind when that congressman they still voted for they still voted and he said that he was going to help keep Trump things going and a lot of people didn't understand why people were saying, oh my goodness, that was so great what went on in Tennessee, and people was like, what do you mean the MAGA won? Yeah, but you had to look at it like this. This is the fruits that you look at. That district is so red, it's blood red. And with the gerrymandering and everything that went on, when Trump and them in the last elections, they had people who paid up that particular part of the country because it's so blood red. When Trump did they would have their elections and stuff, they was winning by 20 something point
yeah,
spread.
yeah,
And you heard that the Democrats they threw some money over there, and it was hopeful because the main thing is they wanted to knock that spread down to single digits win, and that's what happened.
yeah. I mean,
So
they got something to worry
that was
about, you
something
know.
to
Yeah,
that's something to celebrate. And then when people started explaining that to everyone, that was something to celebrate. Blood red and the gerrymandering up in that area, and their main goal was to cut that lead, cut that spread from 20 something down to single digits, and they accomplished that. I mean, I didn't have much hope for a win. I was hoping, you never know. But with all that gerrymandering, they did what they set out to do. And so that right there is telling you, even with the gerrymandering and the blood red, they cut that down to single digits. That's what you want to see in areas like that. So that just tell you that there's a hope for other areas that are not blood red. Look at Virginia. That's what I keep trying to say. The pushback, there's a lot of pushback. The fruits just isn't really flourishing like we want, but it's happening. It's happening. But you know what? I don't even want to say. Did you watch the Diddy documentary?
No, that's what I was gonna ask you about. Was it good?
I thought so. I thought so.
I
But
seen like a lot of people critiquing 50 Cent for some reason. I don't know why they're critiquing him, but I got to
I
watch it.
don't care. I don't care about that critique. 50 Cent, everybody knows that he's petty and that Diddy had been beefing a decade. What do you expect him to do? What do you expect him to do? You should have known this was going. And the thing that gets on my nerve, and all the black magic and all that black, like, stop. I'm not even. I just block all of that out. I thought the documentary was very good. I thought that how because he was executive producer. He got the most money from it from Netflix. He said that's what he was gonna do, and they bought. I remember when he said that's what he was gonna do, and Netflix gave him that all gave him all that money, and he said that's what he was gonna do. So the woman who was the director of the actual documentary, is a black woman, because they were on the CBS, not the Today Show, Good Morning, the Good Morning, whichever one CBS show with I can't think of her name, was interviewing him and the director,
Hmm.
and the way that the documentary was put together, yeah, I saw a lot of pettiness in it, and that probably was a look that was him. But he was not the artistic director and the putting that thing together. It laid it out from when Combs was a child and how they maneuvered that. I think it was 6 episodes. How they maneuvered that thing. It kind of how they broke it down. It really was very well done to let you know how he got to who he is and where he and all of the things. All of the things that we talked, they hit upon not all of the things that he's probably been involved in and stuff that we do not know, but the main major things. They hit upon that, and the way they broke it down and wove that thing together, it was good.
Yeah, I'm
It
gonna
really
check it
was.
out.
I enjoyed it.
I'm gonna check it
You
out.
gotta see it.
Yeah.
It was good. I really enjoyed it. Now, do I buy into everything? Let's put it this way, because a lot of the things I had heard about over the decades about Congress, some things I was like, I wonder, yeah, and yeah, I believe that. Yeah, I believe that. I believe that. Yeah, well, I don't know. I believe that. But the way how they put that this documentary, I put a percentage on it. I
Well,
believe 90%. I
well,
believe
that's a
ninety
good number.
percent of what I saw.
That's a good number. See, 'because
90%.
because whenever they do documentaries, right? Whenever you name it documentary, it's got to be based in some type of truth or evidence or whatever, or else Netflix could
Yeah.
get sued or 50 Cent could get sued.
Correct.
So that's some of that stuff. I mean, like I give it a 90. I could probably give it a higher than 90. I probably give it a 94.
You probably get it higher than that.
Yeah, but
But like I said, I'm just being cautious. So I say 90% I bought into.
yeah, but because whenever you label something a documentary, that's supposed to be, fact
Yeah.
based and evidence and all that kind of stuff. But what's up, mama's boy?
Peace, family. Peace, sister.
What's
Peace,
happening?
brother.
What's happening?
Uh,
Hey,
I
hey.
only I only chimed in to because I wanted to put on the table what y'all talking about. Um, I caught a video on how 50 was able to get that footage
Yeah.
of Diddy,
Tell it. Tell
and
it.
because
Tell it.
they trying, I think Diddy tried or is going to try to sue him for having that footage, but there's nothing I don't think he can do about it because what happened was his regular videographer called off and put this dude in stand-in for him. That's how 50 got the footage. The stand-in dude never got paid by Diddy. So guess who got the footage?
They paid
whoever gave him the money, right? So he left himself wide open for 50 Cent to get it. You got this nigga hovering around you like a hawk, waiting on you to slip up, and you make that kind of mistake where you don't pay the guy who's videotaping, documenting your life like your regular videographer. So that's what I wanted to bring in there. And before I kind of wanted to say it at first because I don't want to overshadow what y'all talking about. But man, nothing gives me pleasure like watching the Cowboys getting skull drugged. Nothing gives me more pleasure than they getting skull drugged. Right?
Well, ain't you from that state?
Yeah, I used to be a Cowboys fan, but I'm not very much of a football sports, type all the way around. But I do watch when I have an interest, and I do have an interest in watching the Cow. My nephew was over here. He wanted to watch the game, and once I started seeing him can't stop the run, I decided to keep watching. I decided to keep watching, and they getting drugged. They get drugged down.
What's the score? I didn't even know they. Oh, never mind. I see it.
43.
I see it. Never mind.
So, but yeah, 50 is slickster. But I mean, if you his op, why you gonna leave the door open for him? That's stupid.
And that's what he did. Because some of the stuff, when I was saying some of the clips before I watched it.
When I get done with all these people like that, I gotta take a bath. I feel dirty.
A scalding bath, and I gotta put peroxide in the water.
Wait a minute. What did they do? They recorded a moment that he just got finished doing a freak off or something after.
No. Listen, Tyrone. His videographer was with him while he was glad handing at an event. So he was meeting people, shaking hands, taking pictures, blah blah blah, yada yada, because he P Diddy. And the videographer was still playing with, and he was in the back seat of the SUV. And he's now when I'm around that many people, I just feel dirty after doing all of that. I gotta go take a bath.
Oh, so he was talking about his
He was talking about his fans.
Yeah.
He was talking about his fans.
Well, that's fucked up.
And when it was, and Today Show, whatever that was, it wasn't Today Show, it was the channel CBS morning show with Good Morning. I think it was Good Morning America, and the Roberts, the Black Roberts.
what's right there.
Well, yeah, it sounded like he screwed up. He should have paid that. That
He did screw up.
yeah.
He screwed up big time with that, and you got that stuff. You won't pay the people, and the stuff out there just lingering. Now he had other things going on. He was locked up, and he had bigger fish to fry. But you don't let loose ends like that linger out here, cause I'd have sold it too if I was the videographer. I want my money, so somebody better
I don't
pay me
care
my
who get
money.
the I don't care who get the fucking footage. Just give me my check.
I want to get my money.
Right.
And 50 was right there and then he was able to swoop in and get that footage. And I couldn't do nothing but laugh. I had to rewind some of the parts back, like, how on earth did he get this stuff?
See,
That's
you
what
was thinking
Tyrone,
you was thinking the same way I was when I watched it, and that's how I found out
yeah,
how he got it. Cause I was like, I mean, if he ain't supposed to have it, he probably should be going to court. But then once you find out
once I
it
found
was
out how
Diddy,
he
it
got
was
it,
Diddy's fault. It was Diddy's fault for not paying the guy who did it.
well,
And you know,
then,
it probably to me, it probably went something like, well, you had old boy staying in for you. You pay him out the money I'm paying you.
mm-hmm.
And now it's come back to bite
So,
you in the butt.
big time. Big time, because I remember when he was out there doing. You remember? We remember all that. That was just before he got arrested. When he knew that they was fun, and he was out there midtime, shaking the hands and yeah, this is such this to people. And then you talk about them like that. Anybody got sounds? I was like, oh my gosh, you don't leave loose ends like that. You don't. Anyway, it is what it is. The people saw it. So everybody says what the number it's the number one documentary on Netflix right now, still raining. Hey,
Well, yeah, people
go
gonna want to
for it.
watch it.
I enjoy it.
People gonna want to watch that. I'm gonna watch it.
Watch
Hey,
it. I think you
hey,
will enjoy it.
it's gonna be way better than these Cowboys. And
Uh
today,
oh.
although Dak is a golden quarterback, he can't make everybody win like him. It's looking bad. He just threw a pass and the damn cornerback took the ball from the receiver and got a pick. It's over. It's over.
I hear you.
It's over. I used to be a Cowboys fan back in the day because my brother was, but I stopped following them long ago.
Well, sister, you'll understand my disdain for the Cowboys after being a Cowboy fan for over 20 some odd years. I mean, I started watching the Cowboys at 7.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that was like in the late 70s. So uh, Jerry Jones is the Ku Klux Klan master racist of the NFL.
Oh, okay. Well,
Yeah, that's what my brother. That's what my brother. That's why he left alone. Yep.
He wear the robe. He tell all the other Klan members what to fucking do.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And this year he gonna have egg on his face because he got rid of Micah Parsons. And I explain this to my nephew. My nephew never thought about it, but I explained it to him that championships are very expensive for clubs. I know fans want championships, but owners don't. Championships cost owners money. So what
Mm-hmm.
all owners want, is butts in the seats and all their merchandise selling out. Well, that's what Jerry has accomplished over the past 20 years because every year Cowboy fans think the Cowboys got a chance. And that's enough. They feel that stand up and they buy all the merchandise. They talk all the EBD, keeps all the little news programs and podcasts and generating money. But they never ever produce a championship. That's the mastery of owning a franchise, is to keep them just at a level to where your fans pack the stadium, you sell out all the merchandise, you got all kinds of money around your industry, but you never lose money on winning a championship.
That explains it. 'Cause I used to be a Cowboy fan. My brother used to back when we were little, but he's older than me. So when they said him and my dad them was watching the games, and my brother was a big time Cowboys fan. So whoever my father always liked watching them. But whoever my brother rooted for, that's who I was rooting for. That's how it went. We
Right, right,
explained
right.
stuff to
I
me.
can see that.
But when he got off the Cowboys and he started talking about racist, this, that, and by that time we were grown. So he just went over to become a Washington fan. I never cared for Washington, and I still don't. I prefer the Ravens. And when he started breaking that down to me about Jerry Jones, I was like, okay, I'm not a Cowboys fan anymore. But I cannot fool with, I just could not fool with Washington. So when the Ravens came to town, I was a Ravens fan.
Right, right. Well, Jerry Jones is the Grand Wizard, and I will give you guys an example of what I mean, so you don't think I'm just spitting hyperbole and hate. You remember the Colin Kaepernick situation, right? How it came, how
Uh
it
huh.
started in the NFL, and when it first arrived, it was almost like it was chaotic. Nobody really knew what the fuck was gonna happen. It was kind of like that. What's gonna happen with the NFL? This, and that. But right after Jerry Jones made his whole entire team, including himself, come out there and take one knee, and somehow miraculously the Colin Kaepernick situation disappeared. The Grand Wizard had spoken. He showed the whole world. We gonna respect what he's saying, but nobody really knows except Cowboy fans what Jerry Jones told his players. Said
Mm-hmm.
we gonna go out here, and he stood in between some black folks and white folks with his hand up and his racist ass cracker handkerchief in his hand. I don't know y'all remember this. He had on that blue suit, and they
I
all
remember
took
when
him.
it
They
was.
all took one knee, and then he told his players, better not a motherfucker, better not never take another knee on this team.
Uh-oh.
That's it. It's done. Ain't no more kneeing. Kneeing is over. And what did Jay-Z say? Kneeling is over. Didn't he? Didn't he say
Yeah,
that?
that nearly.
Okay.
Yep, he said
I'm
that.
just telling you.
He said that.
The reason why they love Jerry Jones in the NFL so much is because he shows the other owners and other people exactly how to run a club. He sells more merchandise than the New York Yankees.
Mm. Now they still popular like that?
Cowboys ain't gonna never not be popular because Jerry's the Grand Wizard. He got this form. He figured it out when Jimmy was here.
Mm-hmm.
When Jimmy tossed that man, why you think he kicked Jimmy so fast? Because everybody was like, "How do you get rid of a Super Bowl coach?" Because those 3 Super Bowls cost that man money.
Well, I'm happy that the team ain't no good, but you are
Well,
right. They
I
are
root
still
for some of the
ugly.
players. I root for some of the players, but the fact is, it's Jerry. Fuck Jerry.
Mhm.
He'll never. I'll always forever have less money than this man. So I obviously gonna have more worries than him. He gonna have a better life than me. Even in his worst, he gonna have a better.
Mhm.
If you want to put it in the financial sense. Now I can have a better life than him with the family. And the Quan, so to speak. The family, the community. I like that. I like living with. To me, that makes me more wealthy. But for somebody like Jerry, he's like the epitome of the slave master. All you just watch how he runs his team
Mhm. Mhm.
with a buggy
Cool.
whip.
Cool.
He runs his team with a buggy whip, and that's a racist to me.
Jerry talks about how old is he now? He should be around 80 something. How old is he now?
I think he's late 70s or something.
Mm.
He looked bad. He looked bad. He looked awful. But don't get it twisted. Hate is expensive, but it fuels some of the most racist motherfuckers out there, sister. And they tend to
That's,
live a long time because they got enormous amount of hate.
yeah, no,
You
that's
got to.
a lot of money. You gotta have a lot of money because, like you said, hate is extremely expensive. And for those who don't have the money, they end up being who's trying to be hateful. They end up being victims of it themselves. But the rich haters, a lot of times they live a long time. They got the money to live.
Well,
So yeah, my brother pointed me
don't
on
let
him
P
years
Diddy
ago.
get you down, Tyrone. Don't let P Diddy get you down, Tyrone. It was bound to come out anyway. And when you slipping like
Mm-hmm.
that, nigga, you're a drug addict,
Yeah.
abuser, self-absorbed.
Mm-hmm.
Pick it.
Narcissist.
Yeah, pick one.
So,
He falls under
pick
all of
one.
that. You gonna slip up somewhere, and even if you don't, let's just take your boy Donald Trump for a second.
Uh.
You shit on enough people, somebody gonna
Mm-hmm.
be kind of waiting around for you to slip so they can shit on you. Just remember that.
Mm-hmm. Mama, but let me ask you your opinion on this part of the documentary. We don't have to get down deep into it. What do you think? Because someone asked me, I said, I think I'm going to say 90%. I bought everything. I believe 90%. I don't believe anything, no 100%. But what about the pop situation? What's your thoughts on that? Do you believe how they rolled that together?
Okay, you talking about you talking about the bodyguard, right?
Yeah, the killing of Tupac, yeah, all of that, and the
Oh,
Trump
Pop. You
possible
said
killing
Pop. I
of
thought you said Pops.
Pop.
Okay, Pop.
No,
Uh,
Pop.
well, well, I'm still gonna stay where I've always been about it.
Mhm.
He's always been like in the radar, but there ain't never no fingerprints on him. But even Snoop got some dirty hands in it. Cause what is he
Yeah,
doing?
yeah.
What is Snoop doing with a two way? Cause back then, see nowadays 2025, they don't know nothing about a two way. But back then, Sprint and Nextel linked up because Nextel had designed a phone system where you could be across the country and it's like a walkie-talkie.
Okay.
Okay, so I could be in Maryland, you could be in
I
2 weeks, 10 years.
I think P Diddy had something to do with it, but that's just my opinion. I ain't got no proof or nothing. I think he had something to do with Pac and Biggie. That's just my opinion.
I do. I do too.
Hey, I'm hey,
I,
I'm leaning
they
on
need
it.
to. I don't mean, they need more dots need to be connected,
Yeah, I
but
just can't
they
call
put
it.
that thing.
You know what I'm saying?
I can't call it. Yeah, but I think they how they put that thing together, it makes you go, huh? I was always leaning towards that, but this I leaning a little more towards
Well,
that.
I was gonna say, Chris, I learned in life, well, just looking at problems, sometimes the best way to solve problems is work backwards.
Mhm.
We get so used to going forwards, left to right all the time. It's instinctive whenever you see something, you just left to right it and see if you can figure it out. But sometimes the best way to solve problems is to work backwards, right?
Yeah.
Who stands to benefit if Pac and Biggie ain't around? That's probably the best way to find out who had something to do with that
Do
nigga
it. Yep.
leaving. You understand?
And he rose after Biggie, his own personal music and performance. He just was hit
a
the
lot of
stratosphere.
niggas did. A lot of niggas did, sister. So keep that in mind. A lot of
Yeah, yeah.
niggas, a lot of niggas came up big when Tupac passed away. A lot of niggas ate off of Tupac when Tupac passed away.
I
Remember,
agree.
Tupac not only sat in Death Row studio all the time, but Tupac did a lot of features with a lot of artists. One way you figure this out, Tupac was everywhere. Tupac was everywhere. He was Wu-Tang. He was all the way down with Scarface. He was everywhere.
Stuff. Let me ask you one question. You think the KPD trial that's supposed to be start next year sometime? You think we'll get any revelations from that?
That's gonna be a mess.
The who trial?
It's gonna be a mess.
That's
KPD.
either it's gonna be a mess or at the last minute somebody gonna take care of KPD and he gonna get out and it ain't gonna even be an issue.
That's true. I'm.
We done seen it happen before. It ain't like it with everybody talking shit. KPD sit down a couple years, and next thing you know, somebody sees the problem it's gonna be, and then they go in there and work their shit, and pay somebody here, and the motherfucker say, okay, it ain't no more charges, and they let him out, or some new evidence is found that exonerates him.
Yeah.
So
Because of they were saying he's the only one that's still alive that was in that car. So, and I understood it quite understood him over the years, just running his mouth up on people's podcasts and all, and
well, I'm gonna give you a way to think about it. I'm not saying I'm right, and I'm just a problem solving nigga. And sometimes you gotta look at different answers, right? So, what if KPD is the only one left because he's the only one they couldn't kill,
yeah, that's
and
true.
that's
Because the
why
Earl,
and that's why he talking so much shit.
okay, there you go, there you go. He's the only one. Yeah, because all the multitude was dead. So he the only
What
one
if
going
he
to go
what
on
if he's
trial.
what if he's so street smart that he survived somebody trying to kill him, and that's why he's talking so much shit.
True, true. I didn't see it because that's why because he was the only one. He was smart enough, lucky enough, skillful enough that he's still here when the other two aren't. Supposedly,
And
he say that's all who was in the car. He telling the truth on that.
and think about this now. He's so public. If something happens to him, guess where everybody looking?
Yeah, yeah, you're right. You're right. So interesting we about to fall over into 2026. So we'll see how it just like the masses. I think that one will be. We'll probably get answers to that before the Biggie one, if we get
Well,
answers on.
I actually think this KPD thing is still yet to be determined. I know it looks like, but don't ever, don't let the smooth taste fool you. If somebody's gonna get in a whole lot of heat behind this shit, you can bet somebody gonna push something around, gonna move something around, gonna work some deal, gonna remind somebody of a favor or something. You can bet that. You can bet that, cause
Yeah.
ain't nobody gonna let no fucking streetwise ass nigga take them down. That just no, you know, not gonna happen.
Yeah. We
And
gotta see
TPD
how
know a
play out.
lot. TPD know a lot.
Yeah.
He know a lot. Remember, you see, it's a lot of people involved with that. You got LAPD involved with that. So
Yeah.
if the Biggie conspiracies and the Tupac conspiracies are true, you got law enforcement involved in
That's true. They knee deep and they deep in it. And what about? I think Suge Knight know more than what he know more about it, or he got. If he didn't know more about it
that.
when it went down.
He ain't gonna tell what he know because he probably said something else to keep him from catching charges and shit. But he been hitting. He been hitting. I'm telling you, he was throwing Snoop under the bus, and I never thought I'd ever hear Suge do that. But Suge was throwing Snoop under the bus. Now, could he be sour grapes? Cause nah, it could be. But I mean, Snoop already been looking a little weird. I mean, how you hanging with the nigga your whole squad got beef with?
Yeah.
And P Diddy and Snoop been hanging since y'all don't like Death Row. New York ain't down with Death Row. He been down with Diddy since then, and he gave up in a podcast that his son, P Diddy's son, and his son are friends.
Mhm.
Well, that makes him
Oh.
and P Diddy friends
Mhm. So,
for a long time. For a long time.
But like you used to hear all the talk and people talking about because I've seen some little snippets of Pop. He wasn't all that cool with Snoop nearing when they got nearing, when all of that was going down. So he
Well,
didn't
no,
trust
when
Snoop.
they did that, they wasn't cool when they did that video. When
Oh, they were?
ain't nothing but a gangsta party. They wasn't cool then.
Yeah.
If you watch, I watched the I guess the footage of the video recording, not the video, the footage of the video recording, and they wasn't even dealing with each other hardly then. Snoop was standing away. He was standing back. Pac was walking around. Pac was walking around. He was, like Pac, he going around doing his thing, talking to motherfuckers, doing the thing. They was talking, but they didn't look. Snoop didn't look like he was cool with him. That's the way I looked at it.
So y'all saying Snoop got something to do with it?
Well,
We don't.
there's rumors out there that Snoop got something to do with it. I think they might be true.
Well, Snoop look kind of
story to the
sketchy.
next step.
Snoop look kind of sketchy. I mean, he could put on this little act he putting on now, but he probably full of shit too.
What he doing with a Nextel, Tyrone? Explain that. Suge already said if you had a Nextel, it was for your event and it was for security. So, like, if you didn't have an event or you wasn't scheduled to be in an event, you would never have a security Nextel.
Yeah, I got
right?
you. Yeah.
So, what is Snoop doing with a security Nextel when all the players are in Vegas at the fight?
Mm-hmm.
He didn't go to Vegas. He stayed home. What's he doing with his Nextel? To get word that Tupac was shot. It looked weird. That's all I'm saying. And don't put it on me. Warren G was the one who said it. If you ever watch Drink Champs, he blew him up on Drink Champs.
Well, if it's taking these folks this long to take down a damn pedophile ring, they ain't gonna never make the connections with Tupac and Biggie.
Yeah, you see what I'm saying? Because too much involved, too much Like I said, if conspiracies are true, then you got LAPD working in there somewhere, and that's all the way in Vegas. You know why? Because motherfucking Suge Knight and them was fucking around with Rampart.
Well, look, y'all, I got to get off here. I can leave the lines open. If y'all listen, oh yeah, one more time, I'm going to change the number. So I'm not going to do it tonight, but whenever I do it, if you call the number and you don't get this conference, I'm going to go to the description on this video, and then I'll put the new number in the description on this video whenever I change it. So it'll be a new.
So, but let me ask Tyrone. The new video, once it's changed, you have it on the new video, right?
Yeah, in this video, the new number will be in the description of this video, the newest video.
Before you go, Tyrone. Oh, go ahead, Sid.
No, you said that the number will be in this video, or like when you get ready to like next.
No, yeah, this video. Okay, so check this out. We online tonight, right? And the description is what it is tonight. So what I'm gonna do is, let's say I'm going tomorrow and I'm gonna change the conference call number. So once I change the conference call number and get the access code, I'll go back to this video and I'll put the new stuff in this video. So like during the week when people call in, they can have the new number and stuff.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
And when you do a show, or whoever do newer shows next week,
yeah,
the new information will be in those too, correct?
Yeah, it'll be starting Thursday. I have all the new information up current. But the reason I'm doing it like this is because
the conference will be in this. The conference information will be in this. I get you up on.
Yeah, the reason I'm doing it like that because I know people like to call in during the week, and they won't have a way to contact me to get no information. So I'll just put it in this video so people, if they still want to call in and just sit around and do whatever they do, the new information will be in here. I'll put the phone number and the conference call in there, and the and the passcode or whatever. Yeah.
Right.
What's up, buddy?
Go ahead.
Did you see Donald Trump sleep in the cabinet meeting?
Yeah, I seen him sleep, and I heard him say that he liked cocaine. So these people don't. I don't know why they letting that man still run out the country, but they are.
Well, you know, my sister brought up a point. You know, he's heavily medicated.
Yeah.
So I mean, you pause for like 5-6 seconds, he probably gonna go to sleep.
Well, I mean, to be honest with you, that's understandable for a guy that's 80 years old. You know, he shouldn't even be the president, but you know, but he was talking so much shit about how old Joe Biden was. The same shit is affecting him.
Oh, it's weekend at Bernie's with Donald Trump.
It's much worse for him. And them bandages and stuff on his arm, because they said that's how whatever it is that they medicine and different things that they're giving him, they do it, you know, through the hands, so they don't need gall over there anymore. They just have bandages on it. So, you know, those transfusions or whatever it is that they're giving him for whatever that is that he has problems with. I heard a good video about it today where people kind of got it narrowed down, and it explains a lot of stuff.
Well, if that's what they're doing, then that means that they didn't shot him up through them veins or whatever so much that, you know, they're fragile. They're trying to give him time to recover. So whatever he taking through his arms or whatever the fuck, that's, you know, they.
Well, Pete Hegseth better hope he remembers to give him a pardon.
Yeah, I mean they committed war crimes, man. They committed war crimes.
You better hope they remember to give him and that admiral a pardon, man, because it's a wraps for them, boy.
Yeah, he already tried to blame that admiral.
That black admiral move when he stepped down, and I was telling y'all, I said this that will come back.
Yeah, cause
That will
he
come
would
back there one day.
he would have been the one that was in charge of this right here.
Right.
Yep. I told them that we just wait. This is gonna pop back up, and we'll get a little bit more information on that. But like some people, like some senators and congressmen are coming out and saying, "Yeah, is it war? It's war crimes, but we're not at war. Congress has not declared a war." So the fact that we are not at the laws are still the same. Congress they declare war, they do that. So we're not at
No,
war
no, no.
until
It's
you say
But
so.
it could
matter since
no.
a war crime
Go
is a
ahead.
No,
war
what I'm
crime.
no, what I'm saying is it war crimes or is it just murder?
Well, it's murder, but it's a war crime because they use the military and the fashion that those people was killed. So whenever you use that
No,
type
I
of
understand that.
yeah, it's a
But
war crime.
what one senator was saying, if we're not at war,
We're
this
not,
is just
but you can still commit a war crime not being at
we're
war.
just no, this is just purely crimes and murder.
Well, that
You
senator,
could say war crimes,
that senator,
but this
that
is just
that senator probably wasn't that senator probably wasn't ex-military, but that was a war crime.
he was.
He would. Well, he don't know what the hell
No,
he talking about now.
it was a war crime, but the thing I'm trying to say, what makes it more serious is what he was trying to say.
Right.
You put it under a war crime.
That's right.
Is it? He
Because
said,
it's more
is it a
serious.
war crime? You put it. No, it's more serious if it's not a war crime.
No, that's wrong.
Is it a war?
I mean,
No,
that's backwards.
That's how.
Okay, the reason.
That's how.
Well, he
Explain it.
the reason that it needs to be a war crime and it has to be up under the Uniform Code of Military Justice is because you got soldiers and sailors or sailors on active duty, and their punishment is not going to be in a civilian court while they're on duty. They have to go through the UCMJ to get their punishment when they violate crimes. When they obey an unlawful order, it's got to be a war crime. You can't say that they committed murder. And then I guess you could, but they was actually using missiles and all that kind of bullshit. So they're gonna have to go through the UCMJ.
No, they're gonna have to do that, but now how he broke it down. Yes, they did it in the act of saying that it's a war crime. They're gonna have to prosecute it that way. But because we're not legally at war. You see what I'm saying? That they just plainly murdering people out there in that water because we're not at war with anyone.
Well, that is
It's
what they're
not
doing.
prosecute.
Is that was murder? That was
It's
definitely
murder.
murder.
It was definitely murder, and then it's also they murdered all them people, and yes, they're gonna have to prosecute it, whatever they do as war crimes. But that was just plain old murder because we're not at war. Congress has not declared war.
Nope.
So
But
it's a mess. It's a mess.
it is.
So,
All right, but look, I got to get off here, y'all. I'm gonna holler at y'all. Like I said, y'all look for that number in the comment
y'all
section.
have a good one. Have a good one. We'll talk next week.
All right. All right.
Q&A session is over. All participants are unmuted.